Hello guys, we are back with the adaptive controls, and the last video session was dedicated to the programmed or scheduled adaptive controls. And we had seen that for those kind of controls it was very essential that we have a very thorough knowledge of the process. All the mathematical models are known to us in a very precise manner. In this session we are going to go in for self-adaptive control systems, specially designed for those kind of processes which are not known to us mathematically. So we can go in for some kind of iterative method, and we can estimate the parameters of the process in a manner that represent the model as they are. So here we are going to go in for some objective, and that objective is to be minimized. This objective is often a kind of error which we need to minimize, and that is how we keep on adapting to the changed process conditions under which this objective remains minimized. So this is, it can be what we call it as integral of a square of errors or something of that sort, and we shall be dealing with two different types of self adaptive control systems. The first we shall be going in for is what is known as MRAC, or Model Reference Adaptive Control. And in the second part, we shall be dealing with STRs, or what we call it as self-tuning regulators. First, we come to the MRAC, that is a Model Reference Adaptive Control. So what we see over here, let's first understand this. We have a set point, we have a process, we take the feedback from the process, and this feedback is compared with the set point, and the error is generated, and this error goes to the controller, and this controller is tuned for certain set, or you can say certain conditions of process, and this gives the best possible values of, let us say, P, I and D to control the process, to bring the controlled output Y as quickly to the set point and as near to the set point as possible. So this is something, we have a regular control loop. We have this loop called the inner loop, but in addition to the inner loop, we have an outer loop as well. And in this outer loop, what we see, we have a reference model, and because of this reference model, the name of this self-adaptive control system is Model Reference Adaptive Control, or in short, we call it as MRAC. So this reference model is, let us say, a simple model. It can be a first order system. It may or may not have some delay in it. So that is the kind of reference model we have, and we want that our controlled system, this entire controlled system, should have a response which is as near as possible to this reference model. This reference model is a kind of postulate, or you can say this is a kind of ideal model, so that the controlled system should behave like in a reference to this model. So we have a set point. Let us say we give a set point a step change in the set point, and that step change goes to this controlled process, and that same set point change goes to the reference model. So the reference model output is something which is ideal, and the actual output of the process is what we get it over here. So again, in this outer loop, which is again a kind of control loop. Why do I say kind of control loop? Because here the set point is output of the model. So we are just expecting, we're just hoping that the controlled output should behave in a manner very close to the model output, but there will be some error, right? And that error has to be minimum. In case we take this error, we take some threshold. All right, if the error is within the threshold, it's okay, we will not fiddle with anything, we'll let the things happen as they are. But as the conditions of the process change, as the conditions of the process change, the controller is no longer giving optimal value of manipulated variables to the process to give the controlled output in a manner that this error exceeds the threshold. In that case, what we see is that the moment this error increases, it activates the adaptation mechanism, and depending upon where the error is, how long the error persists, whether the error is on the positive side or on the negative side. So analyzing this error, we are analyzing this error, we go in for a kind of adaptation mechanism, and this adaptation mechanism changes, or it provides us with the new values for the controller. So with this new control parameters, we again check whether we are able to bring the process as close to the model output, that is we are reduced this error or not. In case we have been successful in reducing the error, we will not further adapt this mechanism, we will not further go in for changing the control parameters, and will continue to have till again the conditions change, again the process is not behaving the way it is supposed to behave, again the error is not within the permissible levels. In that case, we will again go in for invoking this adaptation mechanism, and again we will change the parameters of the controller as per analyzed value of this error. So this is an iterative method, it is continuously monitoring itself and continuously changing its value of the controller all by itself. We are not going in for any kind of human interference. The operator, the human operator, is not again and again checking the value of controller. It's done all by itself, in spite of the fact that we do not have a proper model of the process. It's not like the programmed or the scheduled kind of adaptive control. It is self-adaptive. It's going to check by itself. So this kind of MRAC, this has several types of algorithms for this adaptation mechanism, and one of these is MIT rule, and we are not going to touch upon this rule right now, given the limitation of time and the scope of the syllabus, but it can be taken up at the later stage either by you or by me or in your further higher studies. Some other algorithms can be explored in this MRAC model. So friends, whatsoever I have told you, they are the things which we have just understood, that we are going to minimize ISCE, and we're going to change the value of controller parameters by invoking the adaptive mechanism. This all has been written point by point for your reference, and again the key problem is that we have to provide a stable system, that is to bring the error to zero as quickly as possible. So you can pause the video, you can go back, you can listen to my explanation again, you can again pause the video, you can read through all the steps, correlate it, and understand the process, the adaptive mechanism in the process, and it's a self adaptive control for model reference adaptive control. The second kind of self-adaptive control is what we call it as STR, or it's called self-tuning regulator. Friends, I will not repeat. The inner loop is similar to what we had studied just now, but the outer loop is slightly different. The difference is that we have a parameter estimator over here. If you recall, sometimes back we learned about Cohen-Kuhn method, and there too we gave some changes in the process. In that case, we gave a step change and we estimated the parameters of this process. This process is some kind of, let us say, first order system. It's approximated as first order system. So this Kp upon tau s plus 1 is the first order system. Kp is the sensitivity of the process. Tau is the time constant of the process, and this Td is the delay. It's pure delay, transport delay, or what you call it as lag, simple lag, right? So we have to estimate these three things: Td, Kp, and tau. Now, earlier we used to give step change and we used to monitor the response, point of inflection, we used to draw tangent and calculate Kp, tau, Td. In this case, it is not to be done by us. Whatsoever are the changes given by the controller to the manipulated variable applied to the process, the same manipulated variable goes to the parameter estimator. If the value of Kp and tau and Td are quite close to the process, in that case, whatsoever is the output which is coming from the process and whatsoever is the output which is there in the process estimator, let us say using this model, then in that case these two will be the same. But in case this output is not equal to this, then the value of Kp, tau d and tau, they will be changed so that these parameters Kp, Td and tau by this parameter estimator given in the process, they are quite close to each other. So getting the value of m, getting the value of y, we go in for this parameter estimator and keep on updating the value of Kp, tau and Td as we used to do it earlier in case of Cohen-Kuhn method. The only thing is that there we used to go in for a step change. Here whatsoever is the change in m, that is taken as the input and we estimate the value of this parameter estimators. So once these values of the parameter of the process parameters are known, we can from there again applying some empirical formula or mechanism as we had done earlier in case of Cohen and Kuhn method, we come to the new values of controller that give us more or less optimized value of controller so as to adapt to the changes in process which have taken place. So this is a self-tuning regulator. We need not bother about what are the changes taking place. Everything is happening all by itself. So friends, whatsoever we have understood now, again, it is being displayed step by step on the screen. In case you have any queries related to self tuning and model reference adaptive controls, you can contact me. I may add over here that all these things, all these adaptive mechanisms, they are possible only in the digital domain. That is, they can be carried out only in case we have a good strong digital computer in our control loop. It's not possible for us to go in for the analog kind of things. So in case you have pneumatics and anything of that sort, they have to be replaced by digital controllers. I hope you have understood the crux of adaptive controls as such, and you know we have to adapt in the life the way we have adapted to this new lockdown conditions and stuff like that. We will just keep on moving, changing ourselves, adjusting to the new conditions, and the person who fail to adapt, they do not survive. This is the theory of survival of the fittest, and this fittest means the person who is able to adapt. So is the case with the controllers. Those are able to adapt with the changing conditions, they survive. The others get obsoleted and get replaced by some new technology. Hope you have enjoyed the session, and I hope you have a safe stay and you continue to enjoy learning. I thank you for being with me once again. Bye bye.